Last month, a retail store in Marina Bay hired a foreign sales associate over 200 local applicants, and the reason why will completely change how you approach job hunting in Singapore. While everyone's saying foreigners can't get retail jobs anymore, there's a hidden formula that some people are using to bypass the system legally and land positions that supposedly don't exist for non-citizens. Are you making the critical mistakes that instantly disqualify your application? Or do you know the insider strategies that actually work in today's market? If you want the complete picture on working retail in Singapore as a foreigner, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because we are breaking down everything you need to know today. Let's address the elephant in the room right away. Yes, foreigners can still apply for retail jobs in Singapore, but, and this is a significant but, the landscape has changed dramatically over the past few years. Singapore's Ministry of Manpower has implemented stricter regulations, particularly for what they call S-Pass and work permit holders, and retail falls squarely into the category of jobs that face increased scrutiny. Understanding these changes isn't just helpful, it's essential if you're serious about working in Singapore's retail sector. Here's what's actually happening on the ground. Singapore operates on a tiered foreign worker system, and retail jobs typically fall under either the Work Permit Category 4 lower skilled positions or the S-Pass category for supervisory and specialized roles. The Employment Pass, which is the highest tier, is rarely issued for standard retail positions unless you're coming in at a management level with substantial experience and qualifications. This means most foreigners looking at retail work are competing for work permits or S-passes, and this is where things get complicated. The Singaporean government has made it crystal clear through multiple policy updates that they prioritize hiring local residents first. They've introduced something called the Fair Consideration Framework, which requires employers to advertise jobs to Singaporeans before they can hire foreigners. For retail specifically, this means that unless you bring something particularly unique to the table, specialized product knowledge, fluency in a language that's needed for tourist customers, or experience with luxury brands that cater to international clientele, you're going to face an uphill battle. Let's talk numbers because this matters. The quota system for foreign workers in the retail sector is quite restrictive. For services sector businesses, which includes retail, employers can only hire foreign workers up to a certain percentage of their total workforce. Currently, the dependency ratio ceiling for S-Pass holders is 35% in the services sector, meaning that for every 10 employees, only 3 to 4 can be S-Pass holders. Work permit holders face even tighter restrictions. These quotas aren't just administrative hurdles. They fundamentally limit how many foreign workers a retail business can employ, regardless of how qualified you might be. But here's where it gets interesting, and this is information that many job seekers don't realize. Certain segments of the retail industry in Singapore still actively seek foreign workers, particularly in luxury retail, electronics, and specialized product categories. Why? Because Singapore is a major tourist destination and shopping hub for the region. Luxury boutiques on Orchard Road or in Marina Bay Sands often need staff who can communicate fluently in Mandarin, Japanese, Korean, or even Arabic to serve their international clientele. If you're a foreigner with native fluency in one of these languages plus English, and you have experience in high-end retail, your chances improve significantly. Similarly, technical retail positions in electronics, watches, or jewelry often require specialized product knowledge that may not be readily available in the local workforce. If you're trained as a watchmaker, if you have certifications in diamond grading, or if you have deep technical knowledge about specific electronics brands, you become a more attractive candidate despite being a foreigner. The key is demonstrating that you offer something that genuinely addresses a business need that cannot be easily filled by a local hire. Now let's address the practical side of applications. When you're applying for retail jobs in Singapore as a foreigner, your application needs to be substantially stronger than a local candidate's application would need to be. This isn't about fairness, it's about reality. Your resume should clearly highlight any specialized skills, language abilities, or experience that makes you uniquely qualified. If you've worked at flagship stores of major international brands, if you have sales numbers that demonstrate exceptional performance, if you have certifications or training that's relevant, all of this needs to be front and center. The salary component is also crucial and often misunderstood. For an S-Pass, there's a minimum salary requirement that gets adjusted periodically. As of recent updates, the qualifying salary for S-Pass is at least 3,000 Singapore dollars per month, with higher requirements for certain sectors and for older applicants. Most entry-level retail positions don't pay at this level, which automatically excludes them from S-Pass eligibility. This means you'd be looking at work permit positions, which come with their own set of restrictions, including limitations on bringing dependents and a longer pathway to permanent residency. Here's something else that affects your prospects: the current economic climate and government priorities. Singapore has been increasingly focused on workforce transformation and upskilling of local workers. The government offers substantial grants and subsidies to companies that hire and train Singaporeans and permanent residents. From a pure business perspective, a retail employer gets financial incentives to hire locally that they don't get when hiring foreigners. This economic reality shapes hiring decisions across the board. However, it's not all discouraging news. If you're already in Singapore on a different visa, perhaps as a dependent pass holder or a student pass holder with authorization to work part-time, your situation is different. Dependent pass holders can apply for a letter of consent to work, and the approval rates for retail positions can be reasonable, especially if the employer can demonstrate a genuine need. Student pass holders can work limited hours during term time and full-time during holidays, and retail is actually one of the sectors where student employment is relatively common. For those applying from overseas, the honest assessment is that getting sponsored for a work permit or S-Pass for a standard retail position has become increasingly difficult unless you have that specialized angle we discussed. The processing times can be lengthy, the approval is never guaranteed, and employers are understandably hesitant to invest in the sponsorship process unless they're confident you're the right fit. Your best strategy is to target employers who regularly hire foreign workers, typically the larger retail chains and luxury brands that have established processes for work permit applications. So here's what you should do next. If you're serious about retail work in Singapore as a foreigner, start by honestly assessing what unique value you bring to the table. Research which retail segments actively hire foreigners. Update your resume to highlight your specialized skills, and focus your applications on companies with a track record of sponsoring foreign workers. It won't be easy, but it's definitely still possible with the right approach and realistic expectations. Drop a comment below telling me what type of retail position you're interested in, and I'll try to point you in the right direction. And if you found this information valuable, share this video with anyone else who's navigating the Singapore job market. I'll see you in the next one.